Hello everyone and welcome back to another day of Road to TCG Worlds 2017, which is, now that we think about it, is about to conclude. This weekend we have the North American Internationals. By this weekend I mean we start playing tomorrow, and I'm sure you're all excited. Either you're going to be there or you'll be watching through the PokemonChampionships.com live streams that Pokemon has put up for us. It'd be awesome to get live streamed. I feel like I've been really unlucky. Every time they live stream an event, I don't do too well. And then the one event I did do well this season, which was Australia, did not get a live stream. But anyways, today we're featuring Decidueye Vileplume, another very strong contender. This deck did get top 8 at Mexico City Regionals. A lot of people are still talking about it. Decidueye Vileplume was the best deck in the format, uncontested, before Guardians Rising came out. Now there's a lot more room for arguing that it's no longer the best deck in the format. I feel like it, no matter what, it has a bad Zoroark matchup. But this version without Ninetales, which is the one we used last Thursday, seems more streamlined to me. I do like it a little bit better, I think. Ninetales is good in theory, especially like I used Meowth out Australia, so Ninetales is like Meowth on steroids. But not sure. That definitely Beacon is nice from Alolan Vulpix, but it's just not enough for me to justify using it. And the speed that Trainer's Mails and the Level Balls and everything else offers, as long as you're careful, you can probably keep Garbodor a little bit in check, and the item lock is just so strong. So we have the Decidueye 240 HP, Feather Arrow dealing 20 damage to whoever you want, and then Razor Leaf for 90, and Holo Hunt getting back any cards you already used. Then we have Vileplume locking up items for you and your opponent, and then as the support cast we have 2 Tapu Leles, 2 Shaymins, 1 Drampa-GX in order to provide disruption with Righteous Edge, extra damage with Berserk, and then a very nice and fancy recovery option or draw engine with Big Wheel GX. And then we have the Tapu Koko promo in order to deal damage to all the Pokemon in play, and which it can definitely pile up very nicely with Decidueye's ability, and also it allows for some neat Lysander plays as well. 4-3-2 of the supporter cards, nothing else fancy, no Bridget, no Fan Club, nothing like that, which goes against the norm of deck building as we know it today. But this deck is more focused on speed and drawing through your deck in order to get the Decidueyes and the Vileplumes out. And then we have the 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Trainer's Mail, 2 Level Ball, 2 Revitalizer, 2 Float Stone, single Field Blower, and 4 Forest of Giant Plants with the 4-4 energy split. So let's see how this deck can perform. Didn't change the name of the deck, but this is the version that we were looking at, DeciPlume. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really interesting tournament. I feel like there's going to be every single deck played. So no matter what you choose, you just have to hope for some okay matchups. You have to make 0 mistakes during a game. And yeah, we're currently at a win streak of 5. Aside from the videos, I'm mostly practicing off screen for the tournament. I'm closing in on a deck choice. I feel like I'm probably pre-record. Wow. I'll probably pre-record a video for Monday with my deck choice, not knowing how I did. So I won't reveal what I play until then. But I think I do know what I'm playing. I think I do. Please don't ask me, I will not respond. I don't want to give anything away, but I do think I know what I'm playing. And yeah, Drampa is actually a pretty menacing Pokemon. We see a discarded Vaporeon, so this could potentially be Eevee Garbodor with a Drampa. This could be Zoroark with Drampa. I did not see the previous screen to see what types my opponent is playing, but we do see another Drampa, and we see no energy attachment. So this is a very strange position to be at. This is where I wish I was playing Bridget. I definitely wish I was playing Bridget here. I really don't want to end my opponent. He did discard a Sycamore though, so what could he possibly have that he doesn't want to discard? that he only Ultra Ball for a Drampa? I really don't know. I get an okay hand here. I will be able to attach the grass to the Tapu Lele. However, I could also attach it, provided both Float Stones are in the deck, which they are. Could attach the grass to the Drampa to get it ready for the next turn. Okay, let's figure out our prize cards first. One Gloom is prized. One Shaymin is prized. One Trainer's Mail is prized. Two Ultra Ball are prized. And one Forest is prized. Wait, no. And one Lysander is prized as well. So what did I miscount? One Lysander, one Forest. Oh no, wait, the Forest we have. Okay, so no Forest are priced. The Lysander is priced. Oopsies. I'm definitely gonna attach the grass to the Drampa, and I'm going to pass here. 3 cards makes us delinquent prone, but no stadium means it's very unlikely. We see the Trubbish get dropped down. We see a Choice Band get played down as well. However, if he damages the Tapu Lele, which is what I'm hoping for. Oh, he goes for the Hex, okay. He does damage the Lele. So I am actually okay with that. Because now we have access to Berserk. My opponent did. Oh gosh. My opponent did use Hex, so he cannot use our ability just yet. My opponent should also not be able to knock out my Tapu Lele this upcoming turn. Off of 3 cards, he would need a Stadium. He would need a Stadium. See, the thing is, I really don't know what I should do. Wish I attached the DCE to the Decidueye. I'm gonna bench the Oddish and attach the Float Stone there. And I think I'm going to pass. I'm going to let Lele take another hit. Or I could just outright swing for 150. I think that's correct, actually. I actually think that is correct. We might lose the DCE. I don't think that's a big problem here. We have the ability and Righteous Edge. We also have a backup DCE as well. And we see Altar. We see a DCE on the bench, Drampa, and we're gonna see an N, which I'm perfectly okay with because we get extra cards. We actually have nothing to go off of the next turn. And we still don't, other than the Sycamore, but that's perfectly fine. We actually lose both Float Stones, which could be a problem later on. But the fact that I recover the DCE and that I will be able to swing back another 150 onto the Drampa. Wow, no, he actually goes for the Righteous Edge. Okay, that works. And I top deck the 1 card, which can give me another Decidueye, which is awesome. This is just absolutely great. Okay. So I'm going to double Feather Arrow, or should I? Drampa still doesn't swing for 150. Yeah, actually, wow, I kind of just don't want to do anything here. Now, yeah, let's attach the DC to the Decidueye and let's Sycamore first, and then we use the double Feather Arrow. Oh boy, can we? No, we can't. We needed either the Dartrix or the Gloom to set up Vileplume or a third Decidueye. That would have been amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna use 1 Feather Arrow on... No, actually, no, we don't want to activate Berserk. So this is how I do it. 1 on the active, 1 on the bench, and then we go for the Righteous Edge knockout. Awesome. Ultra Ball guarantees us either a Dartrix or a Gloom in order to set up whichever one we do need. We do see a Float Stone on the Trubbish that could could mean Garbo-Toxin Garb is coming along, which I'm not too happy about, obviously. But my opponent decides to retreat into the Drampa and plays in. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. We still have 3 DCs left, however, but we get a pretty bad hand right there. However, yes, my opponent does threaten with the Berserk next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 item cards. Okay, I get the grass. My play here is definitely to do this and then use the GX attack, right? Gonna place the damage counters on the active. I will, however, need a third Decidueye to get a knockout on the Drampa. And let's just beat Will GX here for 10 cards. My opponent doesn't end us, we'll be in a pretty good position, I would say. Yep, we have the Vileplume, we have the Decidueye, we have the Stadium in case it gets countered. We have double Trainer's Mail in case we need to find N or something like that. Or Lysander potentially. We do see the DC, which I'm perfectly okay with. If we don't see an N, we will be golden, and we don't. Wow, we do not see an N from my opponents. That's just beautiful. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 item cards. That's 140. That's 140. But yeah, we're pretty good. Honestly, we are pretty good here. I even have the Lysander. However, I don't think I want to Lysander right here. Why would I want to Lysander? Maybe Lysander the Trubbish. No. No, let's just take the knockout on the active Drampa. I'm not playing down the Trainer's Mails simply because I don't want to add extra damage to my Decidueye. And we'll be down to 2 prize cards, so all we have to do is knock out that Drampa. So I do want to keep the Lysander, I do want to keep the Sycamore. Maybe, yeah, maybe I should have sent out my deck with Trainer's Mails. Maybe I really should have done that. We get the Lysander off of the prize card, so we still have the 2 options right there. We also have a Tapu Lele still in the deck, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's the Energy Evolution Eevee, so Confusion will also be a bit of a problem to deal with, not gonna lie. Maybe removing the Float Stone instead of the Choice Band from the active Drampa was better. That was probably a better choice. However, I could go after the Eevee and then go after the Trubbish, but Trubbish could evolve. So no matter what, it's 3 turns. No matter what, it is 3 turns to win the game. Either by targeting the Drampa or by targeting the Eevee and then the Garbodor. Lysander is my ally here for sure. Lysander is definitely my ally here. Oh, Parallel City, okay. Parallel City is an interesting choice. Now that I know he has a Parallel City in his hand, I might just go after... Wow, he actually chooses to limit my bench. I am perfectly fine with that. Okay, as long as we don't counter Stadium, he shouldn't be able to play another Parallel City, and therefore going after the Drampa, I believe, is the right choice here. And I can easily do this. Promote the Trubbish, and then I get 3 Feather Arrows onto the Drampa for essentially free. Trying to complicate my opponent's retreat cost options. And what I do here is I retreat myself, no need to risk the Confusion Flip. Even though with that Confusion Flip, I still wouldn't have, my opponent would still not have a knockout, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 140, so not even that. He would have been 20 short. No GX attack, of course, because I already used Drampas, and that's why we're in the position we're currently at. Oh boy, Flareon complicates things, and Flareon means I should have knocked out the Eevee. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh. Flareon means I should have knocked out the Eevee. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. This is not good news. Okay, I'm gonna promote Vileplume to keep my Decidueye. Yeah, I should have retreated for Vileplume in that case. Okay. Wow, that's pretty bad for me. That is actually pretty bad. Okay. I'm gonna Lysander up the Trubbish once again. I'll play this down, I guess. And I will Feather Arrow the Drampa once again. Now it's 3 more turns, however. Now it's 3 extra turns. Yeah, I misplayed that. I should have not just gotten rid of the Eevee, gotten rid of the possibility of Flareon. And so I'd still have all 3 Decidueyes. I would have attacked the targeted the Garbodor 2 times. Maybe he would have taken an extra turn. But he has 2 Garbodors in play. He touches a Psychic. Does he have Garbodor again? If he does, then we can Trainer's Mail to find... Oh gosh. Then we can Trainer's Mail to try to find... Okay, he doesn't. Good. Okay, discards a Rowlet. And I'm gonna Sycamore here. I need a DCE to retreat. I cannot afford to leave my Decidueye right there in the active spot. Thankfully I will not need to. Of course I would have liked to use this DCE on the Tapu Lele promo to accelerate my win by 1 turn. But as long as he doesn't have another Lysander, which seems unlikely, he needs Lysander and Garbodor to win. Or no, he needs Lysander and Energy to win. He needs Lysander and Energy to win. Otherwise, we win. So does he have it? He could also have Hex. He could also have Hex. If he had knocked out my Vileplume, somehow, some way, if he had knocked out my Vileplume, I would have had the Revitalizer, but he had the Lysander, so it looks like we're going to win. Oh, there's a Garbodor, but that's fine. We still have abilities. There's a Sycamore, discarding Via Seeker, Float Stone, and something else, so we should be good here. We should be good. Yes, my opponent will take another knockout, but that's perfectly fine. Oh boy, that was a tough game. I definitely misplayed. I definitely misplayed. I complicated myself the game by not going after the Eevee. So yeah, now we go with the Feather Arrow. Yeah, we don't even get to say well played. And there's the victory. Okay, so our streak lives on. 6 win streak. Let's try to keep our stride. Let's try to get another win here. And yeah, beating a Garbodor deck with the Decidueye, always very nice for confidence, if you will. Silshi. We lose the coin flip, so we're not going first. That gives us the option to Sky Return, to Energy Drive, to Berserk, to Big Wheel or Righteous Edge. And wow, if we had a Stadium here, our hand would be amazing. It would actually be incredibly amazing. We can still top deck it, but it seems unlikely. Off of 47 cards, Oh boy, we're up against Greninja. Okay, I did lose last time to Greninja, however. Maybe it wasn't stream, maybe it wasn't practice in my own games, but I did lose to Greninja using the Decidueye the other day. Wow, my opponent actually decides to Lysander up my Rowlet. Okay, that works. I'm not a huge fan of playing this end, but I feel like we have such an inherent advantage just by the typing that it doesn't matter if I allow my opponent to set up. As long as we set up ourselves, we win. That's my train of thought. So I should have checked my prizes. I really should have checked my prizes. Gonna do this. Gonna keep drawing. The item log is not that important, but I do want to keep drawing cards. Okay, let's check prices first. There is a Gloom. I did remember seeing the Gloom. So nothing of the Oddish line is priced. 2 Rowlet are priced. 2 Rowlet are priced. 1 Ultra Ball is priced. 1 Stadium is priced. 1 N is priced, I believe. No N are priced. 1 Sycamore is priced. And 1 DCE is priced. No, yeah, 1 DC and 1 grass. Okay, that's 7 price cards. I'm miscounting something. I am actually miscounting something, but that's okay. Because there's no more Rowlet, however, I kinda just don't want to get anything, but I'm gonna grab the Tapu Lele just to draw an extra card off of the Shaymin. I could have grabbed the other Shaymin, however. I definitely could have grabbed the other Shaymin. And, well, I mean, I can tackle for 20. It's like a feather arrow. Losing the Decidueye is no big deal. Revitalizer for the Gloom is pretty cool. Losing the DC is actually pretty bad. That means we will not be able to attack that Frogadier next turn. However, we could still knock it out. We could still sharply Quill and set up a bench Decidueye and then use Feather Arrow. So my opponent has 1 Frogadier priced or in his hand. One or the other. The energy I will definitely attach to the active Rowlets. And let's Sycamore here. So we lose a Decidueye, but we find the Stadium. This Trainer's Mail is huge. We get an Ultra Ball, so we can actually either lock my opponent or just, yeah, set up at the Decidueye. That's the best course of action here. I can even just decide to Hollow Hunt here if I really want to, and get back the DCE, get back the Level Ball, get back the Ultra Ball. DCE, Level Ball, Ultra Ball seems like the best course of action here. I will Feather Arrow the benched Frogadier, I guess. Simply because I'll probably be knocking out this Frogadier, this active Frogadier the next turn, and I will Hollow Hunt. I will Hollow Hunt for the level, for the Ultra, and for the DCE. That way I guarantee a second Decidueye and I guarantee to take a knockout, which is pretty cool. My opponent might actually want to Shadow Stitching me so that I don't get Feather Arrow. But it's really no big deal because I'll just be one-shotting everything. See energy on the bench and we see an N. That's fine. That is completely fine. As long as we don't dead draw off of this, we should be good. And we don't actually dead draw, which is awesome. I will be able to find a Decidueye, thin out my deck, attach the Float Stones, and get a knockout. The Bursting Balloon is a bit of a problem, yes. It is a bit of a problem. That means no choice band though, and it's essentially 60 damage versus 80. Let's find the Gloom, or even the other, no, just the Gloom. Let's find the Gloom and then discard the Gloom and a Float Stone in order to I forgot what I was saying. In order to thin out the deck just by one extra card, but we don't want to Sycamore here and then find another Gloom, which is useless, essentially useless. The Float Stone, I think I will still attach to the Gloom. So I don't mind paying the retreat cost. We do find the Vileplume. We do find energy, so no more item card. I mean, no more. No more items from my opponent. Yes, that is correct. Razor Leaf does get the knockout here. We are at 240 damage. I mean 140, but with no choice band in play, my opponent cannot knock out this Decidueye. Because he doesn't have a Greninja, so he cannot evolve into the break and use Giant Water Shuriken. The bench Frogadier is in a lot of trouble if he doesn't evolve it. Yeah, he needs double Greninja to even stay in the game, and that's only to delay the inevitable by one more turn. We see a Rossi's fine, but we still get the knockout on the benched Frogadier and the active Pokemon. And yeah, my opponent just uses water duplicates, so that's gonna be the game. And yeah, I mean, one of the reasons Greninja is kind of a dubious choice for this upcoming international tournament is no matter what, there will be Decidueye, right? No matter what the circumstances are, you will see Decidueye get played. So there's definitely an argument not to play Greninja in the tournament. And we just get the double knockouts. And because I'm a little bit short on time, guys, I will leave the video up to here. Normally I would play an extra game, but I am preparing everything for Indianapolis so that you get how do you say it? So that you get videos every day of the week, even if you're not attending Indy, even if you're gonna be watching a live stream, there will be videos on the channel. Maybe I should not bother with Friday, but I'm still gonna do Friday, and I'm gonna try to record Monday's video with what I think will be my deck choice for the tournament. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. Please leave a like on the video if you can. And that will be all from me today, guys. Please root for me at the tournament. Thank you and bye-bye.